Hey, it's Kevin DeWitt here. Welcome to the next video in the Setting Up a Home Music Studio course. In this video, we're going to talk about some common mistakes. So, common mistakes in setting up your home music studio. I'll guarantee you it is most likely going to happen to every single one of you. It happens to me every day, well, not every day, but it happens to me a lot. And I'm hoping that this course may alleviate some of those, and especially this video, hopefully I can highlight a few of the common ones that come up and things that have actually come up with me even particularly. You know, I'm not immune to this. I went through all of this myself, setting up this studio. I made all the mistakes. I didn't find some of the resources, and I'm hoping that my course here is going to, as I said, give you my experiences and hopefully avoid you making these same mistakes and getting your home music studio set up the way you want. Fast, cheap, and with great quality. Now, while I hope that we can avoid some mistakes in your setup, it's almost impossible not to get some. Okay, it's just inevitable. Nothing's the same, nothing's perfect. I don't know what your room's like, I don't know what your setup is, I don't know what your budget is. So there's a good chance that some mistakes are gonna happen, and that's fine, that's part of the learning experience. It's not something to get you down, but it's about you getting back up on your feet, back up on the horse, whatever you wanna say, and continuing on and getting to the next step and learning from those mistakes, and not letting it, dwelling on it or letting it hinder you from moving forward with your songs, recordings, whatever you are trying to achieve out of this. So in the PDF, I've got a bit of a list, and we're just going to go through that list again on video, just to explain a few of them in more detail potentially. So the first item on the list is spending money on things you don't need. I did this a lot. I bought things based on recommendations, based on this studio has this piece of equipment, I obviously need it. I have ended up selling so much equipment, so many plugins, so many pieces of software because I bought them thinking they were the right thing and I needed it, but turned out I didn't, because I guess jumped too far forward in my development and bought equipment that I was just not ready for, and my home music studio just did not need it. So the best way to avoid this is to obviously stick to what I've tried to run through in this course with the bare essentials and the process of how to obviously start off with that bare essentials, get to know that setup, use it to its full potential before you think about what do I need next. Don't just buy something because somebody's selling a piece of kit or they use it in a famous studio. Think about what you actually need as you go. What are you missing as you go? What's holding you back? Then start to research what you need. Probably the main tactic of not spending money on stuff you don't need is to take your time, dwell on things. Don't rush into buying something because you've seen it on sale. And you know, that's easy to say when a software manufacturer or somebody puts an item on sale for 24 hours. You can be so tempted to buy it and rush in and then go, oh, and you never use it. You know, it could be something that you think is going to be a good idea and never use because you just don't need it. So the best idea obviously is not to get sucked into these sales. Take your time, sleep on it, think about it again, actually sit down and think practically in your head, how would I use this, when would I use it, and how often will I use it? And if you can't really get the right answers from those, then maybe the product isn't right to purchase. So the second item on the list was buying items that famous names use, and I've sort of covered that in the first point as well that I just talked about. You know, so a lot of manufacturers and people that create software and stuff like that will obviously pay famous people in your industry or in this industry, the music industry, to promote things, put their face on it. And you know, it's a really good sales tactic because you naturally think, well, that's my favorite singer, whatever, they use this microphone or they use this piece of software, so I have to get it because it's going to be great. But the thing is that they probably didn't buy that piece of software for a start. They may use it, some of them may not. You hope that they do use it if they're going to promote it. But, you know, they might have used it once, but it could be a really great product for them. But it may not suit you. Even though you aspire to be like that artist, it doesn't mean you are. So you need to find the right thing for you, not what they found for them. So another common mistake that's on the list is the room layout, desk placement, etc. is not thought through properly. Now, I'm hoping that that is not going to be a mistake that you make in your setup, because you have followed through my course and thought through everything and planned it. But it is quite a common mistake, and I did it as well, where you rush in, you set things up, you don't really think it through, you don't plan for the future, you put all your furniture in the wrong spots, or you put it in maybe it's the right spot at that time, but then 2 weeks later you want to add studio monitors to your desk and suddenly your desk's not in the right place. You have to rearrange the entire room or even change rooms entirely. So don't rush into these decisions, and if you followed my course along from the start, hopefully you haven't, and hopefully you've done each of these steps right, and you'll just skip this mistake altogether. Next common mistake is getting speakers that are too big or are placed wrong in your room. Now, I've gone in great detail in that in one of the other videos, so hopefully again you've followed with that and you've listened to all of that content and you won't make this mistake. But placement is obviously a big problem because sometimes it can be imposed on you by the room that you have. Sometimes it's just bad planning, but hopefully you're not going to do that because I've tried to help you not do that. But everybody can be tempted by buying bigger speakers because, as I tried to explain in the other ones, the speakers that are right for your room may just seem really unimpressive when you look at them. They're really small, they just don't impress you, they don't have a lot of low end or something like that. So the temptation to buy these big mammoth speakers that just, you know, as soon as you walk in and look at them, you go, yes, this is it. But when you turn them on and use them, they're just so impractical that you can't mix properly in them, you can't record properly. They're just too loud, they're too bassy, they're just overpowering. Yeah, they look impressive, but they're just not going to help you. They're actually going to hinder you. So try to avoid that mistake. I've tried to explain that in the other video, so hopefully you don't. But again, temptation sometimes wins. Now the next two common mistakes are having no acoustic treatment. Obviously we're talking about when we've got studio monitors, speakers on our desk or whatever. And the other one is having too much acoustic treatment. You know, some people obviously don't want to put any acoustic treatment on because, let's be honest, it's not the most exciting thing to buy. Bits of foam and fiberglass put on your walls, maybe impractical, maybe your partner doesn't even want it on the walls because they think it's ugly, or anything like that. So, but having none is going to cause you problems if you're using studio monitors. So you really do need to get past that and find a way to actually put some room acoustics in and spend some money on it. Now, other people on the flip side just go crazy and put so much of room acoustic treatment up that they just make the room sound totally dead and lifeless and horrible to be in. So you've got to find that right balance of getting the right amount of room acoustic treatment, but without killing the room entirely, that you don't even want to be in there because every bit of audio sounds horrible and lifeless and just dead. Okay, the next common mistake is something that I have done over time, and that is getting bored, I guess, with the recording mixing side of things and thinking that changing my recording software or mixing software to another brand, manufacturer, whatever, or not even out of boredom, but you're chasing the new feature. So let's say, for instance, me, I'm a Cubase user, and let's say Pro Tools or Logic Pro come out with some new, brand new feature. that Cubase doesn't have. So the temptation is, I'm going to go and buy that piece of software now because I want that feature. You go and buy that piece of software, great. Now I've got to learn it. And while if you're good at using your software, the fundamentals should be similar across all of the software platforms. You should be able to learn it fairly quickly. There are bits about it that the layout, finding where the commands are, finding where the features are, can be hard. And you might obviously find that, yes, that's got that great new feature, but it's missing a feature you already had in your old software. So then you're, oh, do I go back? Do I stay with that one? So sometimes it's better to just persist with the software you've got, because in reality, unless it's a manufacturer that really has stopped development or there's no chance they're ever going to create that feature, there's a good chance that feature is going to come in the next version of the software that you already have, or something similar to it, or even something better, because these software manufacturers are always jumping ahead of each other. It's just this continuous race of which one's better, which one's going to get the most sales. So you can guarantee that if one comes out with a great feature, all the other manufacturers eventually are going to release that same feature in their software. It just may mean that you have to be patient and wait for it. But the downtime that you have from learning the new software is not only going to, it's going to stop your releasing of music because you're spending so much time learning the new software that you're just not recording, you're not mixing, you're not getting songs out there, which is not great. You're better off getting new music out there to your fans than you are not. Or if you're running it as a business, it's going to really impact your ability to deliver mixes and recordings for your clients, because you're going to be trying to run this new software and learning it and everything else. So there is a time and a place to change software, but you don't want to continuously chase the features or change out of boredom just for the sake of, I like playing with new software, because that is just going to impact you. All right, this is obviously a big one, and that is looking for the magic bullet to solve your recording and mixing problems. Early on in your development, you are going to struggle to get the sounds you want. They're not going to come even close to the professionals, okay? But I can guarantee you that going out and buying this piece of equipment or this plug-in or something else that these studios use is not going to fix that. You should be able to get very close and very great sounding mixes and get the close results to the professionals. Not exactly, okay, let's be realistic, but you should be able to get something you're really proud of with whatever hardware and software you've got if you followed along with this course. Buying one piece of software, one plugin is not going to give you this magic bullet to fix all of your problems and give you instant, fantastic sounding songs. It just doesn't exist. It's not going to happen. That's not to say you don't buy new equipment or new plugins to improve your stuff, but you need to do it for a reason. You need to know why you're doing it and why your current system is holding you back from getting to that point. And it shouldn't be because you don't know what you're doing or know how to get the results out of your current setup. Okay, so far I've said every single one of these is huge, but this is huge, okay? This is never finishing projects. It is quite common and quite a big problem for recording artists or mixing engineers to just never be satisfied with the song or the mix or the master and not releasing it. So you keep dwelling on this project, you keep adding stuff to it, you keep tweaking it. You learn a new skill, you come back and you readjust that song again. You think you've almost finished it and then you learn a new skill and you come back and you do it again. The better approach is to finish the song, get it out there, get people's opinions, see what you did wrong, see what you could have improved on, and do that on the next song. Don't come back. Don't come back to that song, right? That song's finished, that song's locked in. Let it go, let it be in the world. Go to the next song. Learn some new skills on that song and improve. Then do another song. Learn some new skills on that one. Each time, finishing those songs to the end and getting them out there. Okay, you are not going to improve as much or build a fan base or get anywhere in your career if you have 100 songs sitting in your computer that nobody's ever heard because you just won't finish them or can't finish them. But you can build a fan base on 100 songs that might be great songs, but not all of them sound great. You know, there's a development that the last 10 may be sounding a lot better than the first 90. But that doesn't mean you haven't built fans as you've gone along. You're still going to build fans with songs that are really good songs, but maybe just don't sound that great, and you need to learn some new techniques. But it's also the best way to improve because you're going to get feedback from people, and that feedback is going to give you ideas of, oh, okay, I need to improve that. But if nobody ever has heard your music, then you're sitting in your own little bubble and you can't get people's feedback. And this feedback is not always negative. It can be very positive and encouraging. You know, you might send it out there really worried that what people are going to think, but you know, you get some response back. Oh, that's a great song. I love the sound of what you've done with that guitar or whatever else. So you know, hey, I'm doing something right here. It's not perfect, but people love that. People like that bit. I know I do that again. I've got that. Now I need to work on some other things. Now, another major common mistake is waiting till you have everything perfectly set up in your studio before you even work on a piece of equipment or before you release a piece of equipment. The best mindset that you can have is that you are never finished in this home music studio. This is a music studio that is going to progress with time. It is going to continuously evolve through time. So this is exactly the reason why I started this course with this first part of Bare Essentials, because to me, what you should be doing is getting the bare essentials and releasing music, creating music, getting it all going and getting it out there. Part 2, where we're in now, that's your next evolution. That's moving forward, but that's not stopping you from creating your songs or working on what you're already doing. You should be already working on that stuff. You should already be releasing songs. You should already be doing mixes, whatever, even working with clients if you're starting a business. And as you're doing that, you are then progressing and evolving your home music studio, but nothing should be stopping you from creating that content. Okay, and the last one I'm going to mention on the list here is assuming that you need lots of money to solve all of your problems and to get the results you need. Lots of money is not going to solve your skills. It is not going to help you write a better song. It is not going to help you always get better results. Yes, money does help with certain things. It will buy you the nice gear. It'll buy you the nice guitar, the nice amp, the nice this, the nice that. But you can still get great results with cheap equipment. You can get great results from expensive equipment. Don't assume that money is the solution to everything, because at the end of the day, I have seen people that have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on a custom built home music studio and then sit there not knowing how to use any of the equipment and never releasing anything, never writing a song, never recording it, never mixing it, because they just don't know what to do. And even if they do try to do it, they get crap results because they don't know what they're doing. They have no idea how to do it. Whereas other artists I have seen that have spent very little money sitting there with an extremely cheap setup, or even just with their iPhone, with an acoustic guitar, singing into it, playing guitar at the same time, with an absolutely brilliant song that they've written. And people love it. It sounds mediocre, to be honest. I mean, it's recorded through an iPhone. It's not the best setup. But nobody cares when there's a song that they really gel with, that they get so much a feeling, emotion, and passion out of. So don't assume that money is going to solve your problems, because it's not. Okay, it does help to have money. I'm not going to disagree with that. Without money, you can't get anywhere. But that's not the be all and end all. You need to have the skills and the talent and the drive. That's the main components. The money just helps as you move along. So I'm hoping that calling these out now, and obviously a lot of these were called out during the course. You know, this could be a little bit repetitive because I've tried to highlight these problems through every section as we've gone through this course. So I'm hoping that you aren't making these common mistakes, but I just wanted to bundle them together just to make sure they were all covered and highlight to you that these mistakes are here. And I'm not telling you these because I want to preach at you or because I'm this brilliant person that never did that. No, I mean, I probably made every single one of these mistakes, and that's exactly why I thought of them, because I made them all. So I want to try and avoid you making those same mistakes that I did and a lot of other people make as well. So if you do have any questions about any of these topics or any other potential things that you think could be a mistake or anything else, you know, please ask them in the comments. I obviously want to help you. I want to help remove these mistakes and get you to where you need to be as quick as possible, as cheap as possible, and with the best results you can get. So, you know, the more questions you ask, the more I can help you. So hopefully this has been helpful. Hopefully you're going to skip all of these mistakes, or as many as you can. And thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.